Daisy to the outside. Goes in. And they're off. Dancing Daisy was out quickly. Up for the hunt, has plenty of early speed, and they're both passed now by Conquest Sioux. And so Conquest Sioux makes a relatively easy lead. Krista McAuliffe now moves up to be a joint second, and they're followed by Marla Hooch down at the rail. Troisième Etoile not far behind, and Run on Ohm is in fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. 2 clear of Up for the Hunt. Maggles McGee is next. At the rail comes Good Golly Dolly with a half-mile left to travel, and 4 lengths back to Cool Mariah. They're moving toward the far turn behind Conquest Sioux, the controlling speed. Troisième Etoile comes through on the inside, battling for second with Marla Hooch and Krista McAuliffe outside of them. Krista McAuliffe now takes second with a quarter of a mile to go. Then comes Dancing Daisy on the outside. Between horses, Maggles McGee is making headway there at the top of the stretch. It's wide open. Krista McAuliffe on the outside. Troisième Etoile comes through at the rail. Maggles McGee is finishing strongly on the outside. Coming to the 16th ball, Troisième Etoile bursts through along the inside and kicks for the wire. And it's Troisième Etoile and Juan Hernandez proving best. Maggles McGee second, Marla Hooch third, then Krista McAuliffe. To the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off. Getaway Charm. Here's Love Our Family going out where she likes it, and Misty Dancer has speed too. Unbridled Scholar on the extreme outside moves up to challenge as they round the clubhouse turn. So it's Misty Dancer who is the quickest. Love Our Family 3/4 back second, a length and a half. Unbridled Scholar in third. Then Getaway Charm, Lady Lauban is next, and the distant trailer is Northern Rose. They swing onto the backstretch, and it's Misty Dancer to set the pace. Prompted by the heavy favorite Love Our Family, who's just a neck back second. A length and a half, Unbridled Scholar in third, and getting closer now. These three separated by a length and a half. Then Getaway Charm, Lady Lauban, and 6 more to Northern Rose. Misty Dancer, with 3.5 furlongs to go, leads it tenuously. Love Our Family pounces now, and Love Our Family, the new leader. Unbridled Scholar goes with Love Our Family. These two coming to the quarter pole, head and head, leaving Misty Dancer in behind third, and they're followed by Lady Lauban, top of the stretch. Unbridled Scholar on the outside is up to take the lead. Love Our Family is back to second. Misty Dancer in third, and then Lady Lauban coming to the 16th pole, and Unbridled Scholar is running like the 1 to 5 shot. It's Unbridled Scholar opening up with every stride, and will report home 7 lengths in front. Love Our Family holds second. Then it was Misty Dancer and Lady Lauban. Violet to the outside. And they're off. Invincible Molly in the center of the course is out alertly. Here's Isa Court now quickest, and Isa Court seizes command. Ovita's Hoppy is now racing in second. Down at the rails, Shangri-Lama is moving right into contention. Third, and only a length and a half off the speed. Tam's Little Angel is next. Invincible Molly in the red silks. Maximum Gold is widest of all, 4 lengths off the lead with Corporal Violet and Shin Jadai at the back of the field. Isacort takes him into the far turn, leads by a length over Ovita's Hobby, who tries to put some pressure on in second. At the rails, Shangri-Lama, 2.5 off the pace in third. Then comes Invincible Molly. Corporal Violet on the outside is next, followed by Maximum Gold. Then it is Tam's Little Angel and Shin Jadai. They're at the top of the stretch. There's room for Shangri-Lama, and Shangri-Lama is cut loose on the inside to battle with Isacort. Shangri-Lama on the inside takes the lead from Isacort. Ovita's Hobby on the outside. Shangri-Lama for Mark Glatt wins it by a length and a half. Isacort was second, Ovita's Hobby third, and then Shin Jadai. We're in the gate. And they're off, and Stay in Line had a beautiful beginning, taking command at once. There's a Silver Lining moves clearly into second, and Sexy Blue third, Syntax next. Buds and Suds hugs the rail, a close-up fifth into the first turn, and that leaves Dory Miller at the back of the field. So it is Emisael Jaramillo and Stay in Line, the easiest of leads, head down in command. In the meantime, there's a Silver Lining. It's tugging while going a little bit wide into the turn. Buds and Suds takes third. Syntax to the outside is fourth. Dory Miller moves up willingly to take that fifth spot, leaving Sexy Blue as the trailer 6 lengths off Stay in Line, who runs toward the half-mile pole in command. Over there's a Silver Lining, a length and a half back second. Then Syntax and Buds and Suds. 2 more back to Dory Miller, and Sexy Blue continues to trail. Jaramillo takes a peek back, and Stay in Line leads, hounded throughout by There's a Silver Lining. These two starting to separate themselves as Dory Miller gets underway from the back of the field, moving into fourth just behind Syntax at this stage. Stay in Line just in front. There's a Silver Lining right up alongside, and there's a Silver Lining, puts her head in front. Dory Miller, the only one of the back markers, having a chance as they straighten up for home, and Dory Miller's within 3 lengths of the lead, closing steadily. Stay in Line. There's a Silver Lining, 3 lengths back to Dory Miller. They're coming to the 16th pole. Stay in Line fights back on the inside of There's a Silver Lining. There's a Silver Lining, though, has the upper hand, and there's a Silver Lining under Armando Ayuso. Out finishes Stay in Line. Dory Miller ran third. And checks on the way. And they're off. It's a very quick start for Clever Clover along the inside. Stylishly acclaimed is flashing early speed with Bro, and Checks on the Way is in the mix too. Here's Infinitum coming through along the inside now to share fourth. That group is followed by Gold Council, who sits behind Clever Clover. At the back of the field, Frank Bullet, got him, in a gap of 5 to Billy Joe Shaver, who trails. Down the hill, and it's Stylishly Acclaimed leading the way, has it by a length and a half, tracked nicely by Bro second, Infinitum sharing third with Checks on the Way. Those two stride for stride. It's another couple lengths to Gold Council, and Frank Bullet making headway. Green Silks while caught wide, but Frank Bullet is passing horses one by one. They pass the quarter pole. Stylishly Acclaimed shifted about. Frank Bullet continues to make solid progress. Bro is racing in between those two. Down on the inside, Infinitum. They're in the final furlong. Stylishly Acclaimed all out. Frank Bullet coming to him, and Gold Council is picking it up late. It's Stylishly Acclaimed clinging to the lead, and Stylishly Acclaimed, an upset coast-to-coast W. Frank Bullet barely won the photo for second. Infinitum was third. It's another photo for fourth. In. In the gate. And they're off. I'm always thirsty and one step beyond, vying for the early lead. Here's Cottonmouth in the pink, flying through to take the lead. Just behind them, Rocky Colavito is a close-up fourth. Eloquent Summer is 5 off the lead, 3 clear of It's Not Rocket down the backstretch, and Cottonmouth sizzles to the half-mile pole. Leads it by 3. One step beyond second, Rocky Colavito, the odds-on choice is third. A gap of 5, Eloquent Summer. Outside, I'm Always Thirsty, and 2 to It's Not Rocket. They have 3 furlongs left, and Cottonmouth to catch. Has it by a half a length. One step beyond, and Rocky Colavito both in hot pursuit now, and Eloquent Summer is in the thick of it too, fourth at only 2.5 or so off the lead. New leader one step beyond, a quarter of a mile from home. Eloquent Summer, Cottonmouth drops back far outside. I'm Always Thirsty trying to come back for a little bit more. 1 furlong left, and on the inside, Eloquent Summer has wrested command from one step beyond. I'm Always Thirsty in third. It's Eloquent Summer pouring it on late. Look at those strides as he romps. Wins by almost 6 lengths to one step beyond. I'm Always Thirsty, and It's Not Rocket. In the gate. And they're off in the San Marcos. It was a very even start. Twirling Point in the center of the course is going out for the early lead. Stay Hot, matching strides with him through the opening stages, and just behind that comes Flashiest in third. Mondego is settled on the rail in fourth, some 3 lengths off the lead as they slow things down by the stands. Grogu is next. He's racing side by side with Gold Phoenix. Just inside of them is Endlessly and Truly Quality and Mike Smith galloping along 10 lengths off Twirling Point. So Jonathan Thomas first and last in the early stages of the San Marcos. With Stay Hot right off the leader's flank in second. Then it's Flashiest in the pink silks third. Mondego on the rail in fourth. Gold Phoenix 3 wide, 5 lengths off the lead as they swing on to the Santa Anita backstretch. Grogu is just inside of him. Endlessly second to last, and then Truly Quality down the back stretch, and it's Twirling Point, leading by a half a length. A comfortable Stay Hot is up alongside in second. Flashiest third. Mondego at the rail, 3.5 off the pace in fourth. Grogu and Gold Phoenix are right together, Endlessly 3/4 of a length behind them, and still an unhurried Truly Quality has been at the back every step of the way, where Twirling Point takes him into the far turn, getting pressed now by Flashiest, and Stay Hot keeps pace with that pair. 3 across the track. Mondego's in fourth. Gold Phoenix fifth, has 4 lengths to make up, followed by Grogu, Truly Quality, and Endlessly. They are at the top of the stretch with several chances to win. Stay Hot in between. Flashiest. Here's Mondego's had a good trip, trying to take advantage in the final 16th, and he's eating up the ground. A late run from Truly Quality, who's coming quickly. Mondego hits the front close to home, and Mondego has won the San Marcos. Tight photo for second between Flashiest and Truly Quality. Stay Hot finished fourth. Perfect trip under Misael Jaramillo. And in. And they're off. Pretty bad stumble for video review, and the favorite is last. Treximo is going out for the early lead. All About Babes has some speed. Down at the rail, Eagles Dare is in the mix too as they run down the back stretch. Pop Paul is in the mix as well, racing one from the rail and only 2 lengths off the lead. That group is followed by our Danny Boy racing on the outside of Brahms Mendelssohn. Then Wild King, Video Review after that awful start is 6 lengths off them. A gap of 4 back to Charms Away and Audible Silence at the back of the field. It's Treximo coming to the quarter pole, 3/4 of a length, confronted by Pop Paul to challenge. A hard-ridden R. Danny Boy, 3 lengths back in third. Video Review is next. Audible Silence trying to launch a wide bid. There's 1 furlong left, and it's Treximo trying to fend off this big bid from Pop Paul, and it doesn't look like he can do it. Pop Paul's got him with a 16th to go. Opens up under a nice ride from Ken Desormo. It will be Pop Paul, handridden to a 3.5, 4-length win. Treximo was second. Charms Away came rolling late for third in front of Danny Boy and Audible Silence. $14,557 in the Super High Five carryover. Scratch number 2, Convo. And rethink the last one. And they're off. And Miss Kitty Boom with a beautiful start goes straight to the front, trying to clear over now. Bint Al Dandy, and now here's Sandy Street coming through swiftly, and Sandy Street ensures an honest tempo. Mancuso settles in a good spot fourth, 5 lengths off the lead. Then Halston Rose, followed by Emmy Blue, racing in between rivals. Rethink is widest of all, just 6 lengths off the lead. The 2 trailers, Robin with a Y, and Surf Song is at the back. It's Sandy Street heading into the far turn, pressed by Miss Kitty Boom, who's right up alongside in second. Bintal Dandy in between horses, racing a joint third. Mancuso on the outside fourth. Then Halston Rose at the rail, 4 lengths off the lead. A length and a half to Emmy Blue, racing inside Rethink, Robin with a Y, and Surf Song at the back. It's Miss Kitty Boom on the outside, narrowly in front. Bint Al Dandy's had a good trip and is trying to close into second as Sandy Street drops back. Miss Kitty Boom is loaded past the 16th pole, and all Juan Hernandez had to do is hold on. Miss Kitty Boom blasting him. Bintal Dandy was second. Rethink finished third. Then Surf Song and Robin with a Y.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a Sunday afternoon of racing here at the Great Race Place. I'm Tom Quigley, seated along the track announcer here at the Great Race Place. His name, Frank Mirahmadi. Frankie, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you for having me, my friend. I've been scratched a couple of times this meet. I'm glad to be on the list, and I drew in today.
It's great to have you draw in off the also eligible list. Besides the thoroughbred action on the racetrack, we've also got the corgis. You ever take a peek in your binoculars over there at the qualifying races and try and figure out who might win the grand finale?
I've called many dog races over my time, particularly the Northern California fairs, and the head of our TV, Shiva Scanlon, is an absolute lover of dogs, and we worked together on the fairs for years. So whenever these races come up, it brings back some good and fond memories, and we had a lot of fun on the fair circuit with these. And I know here our man Giorgio is screaming with his absolute heart and soul when they're running, and I get a lot of joy out of his joy of watching those races.
It'll be a fun afternoon, whether it's the thoroughbreds or the corgis. Good energy on track. And Frankie, speaking of good energy, I wanted to kind of walk through some of the multi-race wager results yesterday, because there are some new bets that are on the betting menu that I think are paying astronomically. And I'll kind of go in order. The $3 all-turf pick 3 yesterday paid $4,028. Wow. $3 wager. All you got to do is a pick 3.
That's it.
In excess of $4,000.
What could go wrong?
But all kidding aside, imitation is the biggest form of flattery. And we were one of the first tracks to implement the all-turf pick 3.
Absolutely.
And lo and behold, other tracks around the country copied it. That's the highest form of flattery.
It really is. And it's good, because those are wagers where you could bet a little and win a lot. And I think that's what the whole goal of coming to the racetrack is.
No doubt about it.
You know, you bet big on 3 to 5 shots, you're going to get some wins, and you're going to get drilled a few times, and then you're going to be on the ground. So you need to get some value along the way. You need to beat the public is what you have to do. And there was opportunities yesterday, particularly down the hill, that Carla Gaines horse.
20-1.
Look, the horse had been well bet. That's always easy in the rearview mirror, right? The horse had been well bet in 2 of 3 starts, and went to the lead with a guy who's been tremendous in his initial introduction to Southern California. Misael Jaramillo went to the front, never looked back, was full of run. But sometimes there's more than just what looks obvious. And this horse just got an easy lead and just kept on going. That was a great performance, and it led to some huge payoffs all over the place.
Another bet that you've been heavily promoting via the simulcast feed, Frankie, is the $1 coast-to-coast pick 5. Yesterday's results, $10,507. It's a great wager because it combines races from Gulfstream Park with Santa Anita. It challenges the handicappers because you might know one circuit really well, but you might not know the other circuit as well.
There was one horse that was the same one that just totally changed it, because other than that, it was very easy, quote unquote. I mean, there was nothing that was surprising in that entire sequence. One surprise is all you need in those kind of bets. And coast to coast, butter and toast, 10,000. That was a good payoff.
Speaking of that 20-1 key, the 50-cent late pick 5 yesterday here at the Great Race Place, $18,767. I mean, we're talking about a 50-cent wager, Frankie. Again, in retrospect, red boarding, it all seems easy, but you need to get involved with these wagers because they're paying just way, not you personally, but the betting public, because
I'd like to hit a few. I mean, why not? It's not against the law, right?
But they're just paying way too well, even though the stereotype for Southern California racing is we have small
I'm
fields.
So glad you mentioned that, because everyone always says, oh, I'm like, wait a minute. Go look at the last 6 months, last year of the payoffs here at Santa Anita. There have been astronomical payoffs. So look, haters are going to hate no matter what it is. They're going to find there are going to be days when we have a lot of favorites. There are going to be days on every circuit where you're going to see a lot of favorites. But we've had some very difficult and good sequences that have rewarded the players, and even the down the hill races. Those races are very tough, and those nightcaps with the super high fives have been tough. We had a carryover the other day that had to carry over. The favorite ran dead last, but. Those are the ways that, you just got to pick your spots. It's always, we always have these lingos. I love when you ask the guests, people's strategies and what you do. You got to pick winners first and foremost, right? But you have to also try to think a little bit outside the box and look where there's vulnerability, where there's something that is maybe too obvious. And I think that's where you could get edges by watching the post parades or paying attention to certain patterns or workout patterns, maybe for those that watch the workouts, to see if a horse maybe isn't coming into the race as well as they normally would. And I think that's where you can get yourself a little bit of a separator. You got to get a separator, because otherwise it just pays too low. But when you do get that separator, and if you get 2 of them, then you could really blast off, get a $50,000 coast-to-coast pick five or something like that.
And the handicapping accomplishment of the day goes to the horse player who hit the $2 pick six. It paid $32,000. It was a regular everyday horse player, put in a $216 ticket at Los Alamitos and scooped the whole pool. $32,000. Obviously, he or she had the 20-to-1 horse, but it wasn't an easy sequence, and you should be rewarded. It should be difficult, and you should get rewarded when you're right.
It goes to show sometimes the $2,000 tickets get 0.0, even on the 50-cent bets. You spread all over the place, and you start seeing $8, $5, $4. So you got to get lucky, and you have to be sharp, and you have to be able to zone in. I think the best way, if you were to just kind of generalize it for those 5-race and 6-race wagers, get a few races where you just have a strong opinion, where it's down to, let's say, the 2 and the 4.
Take a stand.
Take a stand there, and then try to get lucky elsewhere, because something weird has to happen for a crazy payoff to take place. But it happens all the time. When you watch horse races, and of course you and I have been watching it our whole lives, but sometimes when you just sit back and watch a full field going around the far turn, you realize how many elements there are that can just change. And we always talk about this. If a horse gets soundly defeated, drilled, it's 5 lengths. The horse is nowhere, right? That's 1 second. How many races do we have more than 1 second in trouble, taking up, waiting for room forever, et cetera, et cetera? So, the difference between winning and losing is sometimes a very narrow margin, but a lot of times you could just get lucky by the fact that maybe someone else got unlucky in that race, a horse that was much the best. A good example, the horse that won yesterday's first race, La Troisième. That horse was an absolute cinch on paper when you really think about it. Meanwhile, the horse looked dead the whole way until got through on the inside under Juan Hernandez. But that horse definitely should have won her debut.
There's your key for the early pick.
Right. So that one right there would
big field, and you take a stand.
Right. And Papa Padromo's horse, if the top of lane, if you freeze frame it, you think that horse is going to win for sure, because this horse was mired and it had the disadvantage. Even though the horse was much the best, the horse was on the rail, had to overcome some things, had to sneak through. And in the end, once she got through, I knew it was over. So did anyone watching, because you knew from her debut how much extra energy she had at the end. So she's supposed to finish the job from there. But even there, you're taking 6-5 on a horse where basically until the 8th pull, you're looking for the air sickness bag right in front, like they have in the airplanes.
And the one multi-race wager which was not solved by any handicappers was the Sunset Pick 6. So we do have a carryover today. Yeah. $19,000 already in the kitty for the Sunset 6. That links the last 3 races at Gulfstream Park with the last 3 races at Sandy. We're going to take a break, but before we do, in case you didn't hear the news that broke earlier this morning, no live racing here at Sandy tomorrow. President's Day holiday Monday. Those races have been postponed because we're expecting a heavy rainstorm, basically 100% certainty that we're going to get heavy rain for the next few days. So we were very prudent in making the announcement early that we will not be racing tomorrow. But today's races go on as scheduled. No rain at all in the forecast. We're going to take a quick break, or at least I am, and Frank's going to give us the early changes. When we resume, we're going to find out who Frank likes on today's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, the turf course is firm, and the rail on the turf is out 10 feet. Here are the early changes on today's program. In the first race, as just mentioned, we do have a Sunset Pick 6 carryover. It starts with Gulfstream's 9th. It's just under $20,000. Race 1, scratch number 6, Bad Reputation. In the second, beginning of the early Pick 4, no changes. Turning to race 3, just a blinker note, which is listed at the bottom of your program page. In the fourth, program scratch of number 3, One Smokin' Dude. Fourth race starts the Pick 6. Race 5 starts the all-turf Pick 3 and the late Pick 5. Number 5, Mall, 1 pound over. And scratch number 9, Going Nowhere. In the 6th, late pick 4 wagering is offered. Program scratch of number 5, Samran. In the 7th event, late pick 3 wagering offered with no changes. The 8th is the Palos Verde Stakes. Scratch number 6, Madaket Road. Late double begins with the 8th. And super high 5 wagering is offered in race number 9. No changes. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the first is in 57 minutes at 12:30. We'll go back to the studio and resume the seminar with Tom Quigley at Quigley's Corner.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with San Diego track announcer Frank Mirahmadi. Frank, before we get your selections on today's card, as if there wasn't enough betting action, we also have a $1,000 super low ratio Ultimate Betting Challenge qualifier. The Ultimate Betting Challenge tournament is on the first Saturday in March. It combines races from both Gulfstream Park and Santa Anita on Fountain of the Youth Day and Big Cap Day. But you can qualify today. Those seats are worth $6,000 a piece. You put up $1,000, $500 is your bankroll to bet. Whatever you win is yours to keep. $500 goes towards the entry fee for the prize structure. It's Ultimate Betting Challenge super low ratio qualifier today, both at Santa Anita and also online at expressbet.com. All right, Frankie, you did the work, and you like the card, right? You got to like the card today. It's an excellent betting card.
I like it. I have some strong opinions, and so be careful. Always wager responsibly. Take it from me. I have done some irresponsible wagering, and it is not pleasant.
It's always easy to look in the rearview mirror and critique yourself, right? What's most important is going forward.
All that counts is today, baby. It's a fresh, woke up on the right side of the soil, and everything's fresh.
Just win, baby, as Al Davis used to say. Let's kick things off, Frank, in race number 1, sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course. Of course, race 1 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. This race is for maiden special weight 3-year-olds. There is one scratch number 6, Bad Reputation. Make number 5 a first-time gelding. Also, I should say today the rails are at 10 feet, and of course we are fast and firm. 7 ways you can go here, Frankie, with Flamboyant, the original 3-1 morning line favorite, but the first-time gelding is the 9-5 choice, down from a 6-1 morning line. What say you about race 1?
That was a phantom morning line in the first place.
There's been a few phantom morning lines this meet.
Yeah, there's some dartboards going on out there. And here's the bottom line. The public's going to always adjust to these things. And I have always found if there is a bad morning line, it's actually going to, it's not as though someone's trying to be cute and make 6-1 for themselves to sudden, because it's going to get overexposed. It's been
well documented, Frank, that the betting markets in thoroughbred racing are what they call efficient markets.
Love that.
The favorite wins the majority of the time. The second winner is usually the second favorite. In other words, it's a progression. Normally, the betting public is right. We know they're only right 33% of the time. But if you were to do a big population sample for the entire meet, the horse that wins the most is going to be the betting favorite, regardless of the morning line.
Absolutely. The public knows, the money knows, and the late money really knows. It's just the way it is. But this horse makes a lot of sense. If you really look at the past performances of number 5, Diaghilev, this horse ran in its debut, was off at 5-1, ended up an even 4th, so a horse maybe needed the race, came back at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, showed some more speed. That was during Breeders' Cup weekend. Actually, a very rare winner. I did have the winner of that race, Track Tiger. I actually remember walking in and having Track Tiger. It was the one horse went wire to wire in that race. But and then last time out, this horse went to the dirt, no bueno, ran against the next out San Vicente winner, a very nice horse by the name of So Happy by the great Run Happy. And so therefore, I just think this horse returning to the turf makes a lot of sense, going 6.5 furlongs. And you're going to get, nowhere near 6-1, but you'll get a little better than what you're currently seeing right now at 9-5. I went to the 3 Lucky as my second selection in here, Tom. This horse was traveling very well most of the way. Maybe a mile just was not what he wants to do. He's turning back in distance here. He had nothing left. Interestingly, the same connections had a big long shot in that race named Irsuch, who ended up winning at 19-1 and came back. That winner of that race did come back and run a good second to a horse named Unrivaled Time, trained by Leonard Powell, who was an impressive maiden winner here at Santa Anita prior to that one day in the nightcap, aired it out, came back and won at a good price at Del Mar. So I think the winner was somewhat productive in that race, and therefore Lucky, if he improves, will have an opportunity to be able to win. And, this horse also, Diaghilev, came out of a race that had good horses in there too. In addition to the San Vicente winner, you had horses, that included some other ones as well that came back to win. And you have a horse that's related to Goliad too. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this 5-horse in here in the first.
You talked about that race that Diaghilev exits back on November 22nd. A winner that came out of that race, Frankie, that you were referring to, you don't see in the past performance running line, but the 4th place finisher was Secured Freedom.
Exactly.
The very impressive Tim Yakteen winner.
And then Robusto too.
Exactly, Robusto too. So that was a productive race. Frank likes 5 and 3 in race number 1. We both agree, Frank, that Brad Free does an excellent job for the daily racing form. Phenomenal would be the right word. Here's a statistic courtesy of Brad Free in his write-up today. For the John Sadler barn with number 4, Flamboyant, John Sadler has won with 5 of his last 13 first-time starters in turf sprints. That's certainly the category that Flamboyant fits today. Good information to have if you're planning to play race number 1. Race number 2 is for the babies. Maiden special weights traveling 6 furlongs in the main track. Race 2 also begins the 50-cent early pick 4. There's a field of 5. Number 1, Silent Way, previously trained by the recently deceased John Sheriffs. Now in the Pete Urton barn is the 6-5 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Frankie, I wanted to show a couple of workouts courtesy of our friends at FirstTV.com. You can access FirstTV.com absolutely free of charge and pull up these workouts for yourself and do your own analysis. But the 2 I want to show you, first start with number 2, Call Me Corey. This was a gate drill back on January 24th. Call Me Corey, it's going to be hard to see the color of the cap, but he's the red cap that broke from the middle position in the starting gate and now is down on the rail leading the trio of co-workers. And Call Me Corey shows very good speed here. I want to bring your attention to the runner drawn right outside of him who's now in the 2nd place position. That would be Intrepido. We know who Intrepido is. He's from the Jeff Mullins barn. He's a graded stakes winner. He's a very good horse. He's a 3-year-old. Call Me Corey now is a 2nd-time starter as a 4-year-old. But you can see the time on the bottom of the screen here. They're moving right along. 59 and 2. It was a bullet workout. Basically, when we conclude the work at the finish line, Call Me Corey and Intrepido are going to finish basically heads up. Considering, Frank, that Call Me Corey hasn't been seen in the afternoon since April 27th of last year, I thought this was a really strong workout for trainer Ryan Hansen.
Well, this horse was always well thought of. I actually spoke to Ryan's wife and our good friend and colleague, Michelle Yu, who is actually on her way back from Saudi Arabia. That girl is an absolute warrior.
She did another phenomenal job yesterday on the telecast.
She's so good. I mean, she just,
she doesn't let any grass grow under her feet. She's on the move.
She's a horsewoman. And, I guess when you have kids like that, it's probably a relief to be able to go and work like this. But I cannot believe the energy that girl has. I've known her for a long time. I worked with her when we were together on TVG. She was very loud and energetic back then. And she has not lost a step in terms of her energy. But she's
knowledge.
Greatness. She loves the game. I'll tell you one thing. On big race days, you will do yourself a favor if you ask Michelle Yu who she likes. I'm telling you, Breeders' Cups, when she's out there on the scene working, she is a phenom. And I'm not just saying that because we're friends. That girl knows what's going on.
So anyhow, she told you a little story about Call Me Corey?
Well, when this horse ran, I don't remember what his morning line was. I want to say like 8-1 or whatever. He was bet down. And this horse, but I remember there was so much excitement. Adrian Escobedo, who rides this horse, this was his horse. He was waiting for that debut, had a tiny bit of trouble in there. And I actually remember putting my 2 cents. I've been known to have an opinion or two here or there. And I sent her a text. I go, under no circumstance do you ever take this rider off this horse. He did nothing wrong. It was a bad luck situation in this horse's debut. And, when a guy loves his horse so much and then gets beat, the first thought with whether it's a maiden or stakes horse, everyone's always looking to the bullpen. You know what? Good for them for never, ever not being loyal to their people and letting him ride this horse. I picked this horse on top, even though the 1, Silent Way, is the kind of horse I would normally pick. But this horse, very, very well thought of from the get-go and ran extremely well in his debut. I love that 58 bullet work out of the gate. I mean, he's fast. He's going right to the front, and he's going to have to hold off Silent Way, and that will not be an easy task. I will say this about Silent Way. Of course, I'm not ever going to question whatever the strategies are. Silent Way is related to a horse named Koala Princess, who freaked in her debut. And in fact, the Equibase man from Monmouth Park, my good friend Rich Feldman and I, cleaned up when Koala Princess made her next start when she went to Kentucky Downs in a big field, because she showed so much talent in her debut. Excuse me, I've been a little under the weather. Sorry for the sounds of the game. Anyhow, long story longer,
Koala Princess didn't do, the Silent Way didn't do one thing in his debut. He did finish at the end with a little bit of interest in vintage fashion for that barn, and will certainly improve here. But I just think that Call Me Corey is going to mean business. He's going to rock it out of the gate. They got him to catch. I went 2-1, realizing that the 1 is bred to be any kind of horse, and he cost almost, 4 times what this horse cost, a little more than 4 times. So I went 2-1 in that order. Very excited about race 2.
Race number 3, we're back sprinting on the turf course. 6 furlongs the distance. Fillies and mares, $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. The trend of good racing continues here in race 3. A good field of 10 with the morning line favorite being number 9. Cloudy Woman, 2-1 on the morning line. Here's John Sadler again. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Frank?
The 9 certainly has every chance to win. She's dropping where she's going to be very tough. She's been knocking on the door. And sometimes you just have to make that move. So I'm certainly, even though I didn't pick her in my top 2, I would not be surprised if she crushed this field because of the fact that she's been facing better, and her start 2 back is good enough to pretty much bury this group. That said, I did go to the 10 With Love, who used to be with these same connections, in fact, Coronas Racing and John Sadler, claimed by George Papadromo, who has been on fire, particularly off the claim. Now, George is always good, but his record off the claim lately, as documented by the greatest publication of all time, America's Turf Authority, Daily Racing Form, he is 41% in his last 22 off the claim. So that's, stats don't lie. When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. So I went to the 10 With Love. Florent Giroux certainly got off to a great start here. He is a world-class rider. His record speaks such, and he put a ride on Plutarch that, I wish I could have acknowledged a little more of in the race call. A lot was happening in the first furlong. I can't get into infomercials at that time, but that was a tremendous move coming to the 7/8 pole. And the right call for him, by the way, if I could redo that race call right now, it would be at the quarter pole. I would say Florent Giroux has done his job. It's up to Plutarch now, because that's exactly what he did. He put his horse in a position to win. He put a horse in a position to win. You're going to get the silver-haired legend to smile east to west.
And ride you back, which we'll see later on in today's
that's
card.
Good news for Florent and his agent, Matt Nakatani, who didn't waste any time taking care of business. It's a cold world out there. Anyway, the one fancy facts for our good buddy Mike Pipey is a horse that last time out didn't do a thing, takes the drop in class, and certainly figures to improve here. I went 10-1, but I believe the 9 is a must-use as well in here. And, there are others in. I typically don't like horses like the 6 and the 8, Tom. I don't like horses that take the dramatic plunge in class and don't do it, and now are asked to do it now. I'd rather take them the first time and then run for my life away from them. Typically speaking, that's an angle that I'll utilize. So I will throw those 2 right out of the mix. I'd go, if I was playing this race in any kind of multi-race, I would only use the 1, 9, and 10 and hope to get through it.
Frank has plenty of winning handicapping angles. I spoke about one of them on the Friday simulcast show during the Pick 6 segment. If you didn't watch it, you missed out, but I'll explain that later on because we're running short on time. Race number 4 begins the $2 Pick 6. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Starter optional claiming types. We got a field of 9 after the scratch of number 3, One Smoking Dude, morning line favorite. Number 7, Dirty Words, first off the claim for trainer Isidro Tamayo. Big last race buyer speed figure, Frankie. Possibility of a bounce, I'm not sure, but Dirty Words is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 4.
That is a very big concern, is the bounce. I did pick this horse because the last few races. The horse, once he figured it out, he has suddenly won 3 in a row, and so who's to say that he's going to be stopped now? Isidro Tamayo is a trainer. I've never met him, been wanting to meet him. I do know some of his owners, and I've been asking for that opportunity because when I spent a significant period of time up north, I would see, look, there's no coincidence. Horses that look good on the track, run well on the track. Trainers who put good-looking horses on the track win races, and Isidro has done just that. And he has started to heat up a little bit down here. It's harder here than it is up north, and it always was, it always will be. And so, but Dirty Words, the concern is, will he regress off? The 93 for a course like this. I prefer the fact he's not available for a tag in this situation because at least
they like the claim.
Yeah, they're still confident. But he's no cinch. He will get hammered from that. He will be the favorite in this race. But there are others in here that have upside potential as well. I looked for a little bit of a long shot. I thought a horse that is too high of a price for what he has been lately. This horse has not been higher than 5-1 in his last. So sorry, folks. Sorry. Those are sounds I wouldn't want to hear, and so therefore I'm sorry to be.
We can't mute the mic, unfortunately.
I know. I got no
talking.
cough button. My man Brian Martinez back there, zero cough button. I'm going to just pretend I hit the cough button for you. I've had to actually turn off the mic in a couple of recent races because those are things people really don't want to hear at the half mile pole.
Particularly the winning owner.
Yeah, exactly. Let me listen to this replay again. Gee, what a call. Anyway, Winds of Freedom. I mean, of the many horses that could pull off an upset in a race that's actually contentious. If you take away the 93 Beyer speed figure out of this horse's past performances in his last one, all of a sudden it's a wide open race. So this is the kind of race I think you either single the 7 or you spread fiercely. That's the way I would attack it. And I'm just picking the 7 on top, hoping if he stays the way he's been, he'll beat these. But if he doesn't, anyone can win.
Race number 5 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 wager as well as the $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. We begin both wagers in race 5, traveling 1 mile the turf course for maiden special weight Calbreds. Scratch the 9, going nowhere. He's going to stay in the barn this afternoon.
He's going nowhere.
He's going nowhere. We've got a field of 10 still. Another good dynamic field. The morning line favorite number 6. Hard to be better now from the Tim Yock team barn at 5-2. Frankie, before we get your thoughts on the race, I want to watch the replay that Hard to be better now exits. This race was back on January 15th. It was our nightcap that particular day. I believe it was a Friday afternoon. And the winner you'll see, Straight Up Country, goes basically to the lead and goes wire to wire. He was well meant that particular afternoon.
Yes, he was.
But Hard to be better now ran a decent second. I wanted to show this replay, and I'll tell you why afterwards. But let's listen to Frank call the action back on January 15th and watch Hard to be better now break from post position number 2.
And they're off. Run by You had an awkward start. Straight Up Country rockets out of there and takes command at once. Irish Element is moving up on the outside, a joint second. Hard to be better now is racing 1 from the rail, and Star of Delhi is down on the fence. The pace lively. Big Bill is 5th, 4 lengths off the lead into the first turn. Island Paradise is the gray just inside of him now. It's another 2 back to Chapoval, who is racing a length and a half clear of Benny's Puzzle. Vron Bayou is at the back. Onto the backstretch they go, and it is Emisael Jaramillo and the pace-setting Straight Up Country in charge to the half-mile pole and tugging while having.
I think I was only drinking water. Can you imagine if this was whiskey? This would be a bad deal.
You know, there's been pranks where people have put vodka in people's waters bottles, both in pro sports and, possibly at the
I heard the
racetrack.
click, so if you were able to pull that off, good job.
But yeah, let's continue, though. We had a little bit of a technical glitch there.
That's
But
okay.
the point in watching that replay, and you have plenty of time, those of you watching, to go back and watch that replay, is I thought it was a bit of a negative replay. Hard to be better now, kind of was slow to switch leads, never really was going to catch the winner, and is going to be the morning line favorite today. So I didn't like any of the runners exiting this race that we were watching back on January 15th. And ironically, Frank, I know you kind of agree because you have a different horse on top in race 5.
I do agree, and that's because also the winner came back. The winner did jog. Shout out to a man who spent decades working right here at Santa Anita, and that is Kurt Hoover. He actually singled that horse who won that race 12-1 on the
Straight
morning
Up
line.
Country, yep.
Went down at odds of 7-2. It was coming out of a sprint race, aired it out. It was
Public
over.
always knows.
Yes, the public knew, but Kurt helped the public in that case.
No doubt about it. That's what
his
he
job
does.
is. Yes, exactly. He's done it in the paddock here for a long time too. So I know that Kurt is considered family here at Santa Anita
He
Park.
sure is.
All that said, that horse did come back and got smoked in his next start.
Absolutely right.
And again, I can't necessarily hold that against him because it's very hard to face winners the next time after breaking the maiden. But I do remember that horse bowing out rather quickly in his next start. And this horse had every chance and did not get him as the favorite, has had 4 chances. So I went to the 3 in here, and he's a horse that it's not like I'm overwhelmed about either because I think he could also get beat. I still just that opening fraction of 21-3, it's just almost hard to believe watching it again. But he was on the lead, and he didn't give up. I like the fact that our great chart callers here at Santa Anita who do such a fine job day in and day out. Love the comment resisted to the 16th because it's the same comment as yielded grudgingly. This horse didn't give up, but ended up finishing 4th. Madman had a perfect trip and ended up winning. But the horses behind Madman weren't exactly world beaters either. So this is yet another race where it could go in several directions. I think you could use the 3, you could use the 6, you'd have to use the 7. Chapoval in there as well if you were looking at opportunities to possibly get a price. I mean, his best would put him right in the thick of it too. He had a little bit of trouble in that aforementioned race, but I'm just hoping the 3 gets brave. on the front end for Leonard Powell. But another tough race on the
I
card.
agree, and the races get tougher, Frank. In race number 6, which begins the 50-cent late pick 4, we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. Maiden claiming Caldred, 3-year-old fillies, in for a $20,000 tag. Take a look at this field. Field of 13 after the program scratch of number 5, the morning line favorite, number 2, Stars Hollow, adding the blinkers for trainer Dan Blacker. 3-1 on the morning line. The races get tougher as we get deeper in the card.
Yes, this horse gets the blinkers on, gets a chance, drops, plunges, has been bet both times, goes to the dirt now. I'm going to try to beat her. I did put her second just because this is a very soft group. But I think the 8 actually makes a lot of sense in here. So let's look at number 8, Savannah's Big Girl for Steve Sherman. This horse gets Lasix for its second start, ended up coming out of a race. The third place finisher in this race, this was a maiden 20 over on Catella Avenue down at Los Alamitos Racecourse.
You've been to the Catella Deli, I'm sure.
That's the first place I called. I've been to the Catella. In fact, very excellent sprinkle cookies, I must say.
They've kind of remodeled it a little bit. I don't know if you've driven by lately.
The Catella Deli. I mean,
it's excellent.
Guys like me should never be touting bakeries. It's not good for any one of you. I promise you should stay away. But if you do go to the
Food's
Catella,
too good.
the sprinkle cookies there are 10 out of 10.
I got you.
Tremendous.
Okay. Good job.
Tremendous.
What about
Tremendous.
Savannah's Big Girl?
Savannah's Big Girl ran an even 4th in a field of 8. Daughter of Mr. Big. Shout out to the great George Krikorian. But look, the third place finisher, the one who finished just in front of her last time out, was famous Forza. We were just talking about the Eddie Logan suite and the great picture of Barry Abrams, daughter of Mo Forza.
It's there for infamy.
Yes. And
Infamy and infinity.
yes, as it should be, man. What a great guy he was.
Sure
My
was.
goodness, what a nice man. And a big supporter of mine. I never knew it until very late, but he was always on my side. Tried to give me a winner one night at Hollywood Park in a pick 6.
Harness or thoroughbred?
Thoroughbred.
Okay, just
And
checking.
I was in that we called it the dungeon. They called it the big player room. We called it a place where a lot of people took a bath that didn't involve Mr. Bubble. But nevertheless, he came up to me and said, "Hey, my horse in the 5th race today." And I'd already put in the pick 6, and wouldn't you know, it's the only horse I missed. That
Oh,
was
that's so gross.
Oh, I mean, if it's
He
just
gave it to you on a silver
he
platter.
was being nice. Just said,
Sure.
"Here, by the way," and I'm like, I was 3 deep, no Barry Abrams, and he marched. That was terrifying. But at least I knew he was on my side, right?
100%.
Anyway, the horse who finished 3rd in this race, Savannah's Big Girl, came back and won a maiden special weight on the grass for Bill McLean at 67-1. Remember that? The one
I sure
horse
do.
starting through on the inside. So
With Caesar Belma.
yeah, that's it. So here you go. I think the Happy Chappie is somehow, I wrote down the name Happy Chappie here as a sibling, so maybe there's some hunter. I think Savannah's Big Girl is a decent play in this race, actually, when you really look around. If the Blacker horse doesn't fire, I mean, who's winning this thing? There is a horse in here that I did. Isn't this the race that had that? 1 second here, let me look. Yeah, the 7 horse. I picked this horse last time, Love Lock. In our seminar, in fact, there were 2 Tamilas in that race, if you'll remember.
Correct.
And this horse did show speed, and I was thinking, wow, I was right. I was wrong. But you know what? That was a terrible race, with all due respect to everyone involved in it. So because of that, I'm going to have to go to the 8, Savannah's Big Girl. And I actually like this horse a little bit today. I think she just has to beat the 2. If she could beat Stars Hollow, if Stars Hollow is not that good on dirt, I think the 8 is a decent play in a race in which you're going to. I'll tell you the other horse that was very intriguing to me. The 10, Julia Street. Like, talk about the horse that is not the profile of an Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners Michael McCarthy horse, but out of a mare who has produced nothing but multiple winners, the 10. So maybe use the 10 as well.
More good news for Savannah's Big Girl, the 8 in race number 6. She exits a race which was a split on that particular day at Los Alamitos in the afternoon. This particular race that Savannah's Big Girl exits was faster by 1.31 seconds, so it was certainly the quicker division. And the winner of that race that she exits actually was a maiden 50 claiming dropper, so it was probably better than your typical maiden 20 race.
Yeah.
We got 4 minutes left for 3 races, Frankie.
Let's make it.
We can do it.
We'll cut through the fluff.
Race number 7, we'll come down the hillside turf course. Fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than, begins the $3 late pick 3, also with a reduced 15% takeout. This is an ultimate grab bag race, a field of 11, with the morning line favorite being on the rail, number 1, Rosa Parks at 4-1. I have no idea what this late pick 5 or $2 pick 6 is going to pay, but if you hit it today, you're going to get your money. You're going to get well rewarded for it.
I'll go with the 2, Take Another Card. I always thought she was something special based on those first 2 starts. This is the Joe Pesci play from his great scenes in Casino. Take Another Card. Number 2 is my top selection.
It was just his birthday the other day, by the way, Mr. Pesci. I think he turned 82, believe it or not. He looks great.
Absolutely.
What a character he was. And by the way, he loved coming to San Anita.
I know. I can't believe I've never met that guy.
Really,
man.
he would be in the paddock all the time.
Love that guy, man. My goodness, what an actor.
What an actor.
And the 11, Eiffel, I think, is also a dangerous horse in here. And the 9 Claire Austin looked very good winning last time out. But I went 2, 11, 9 in that order. I think take another card at 6-1 is an outstanding value play.
Race number 8 is our feature race on the card. It's the Palos Verdes Stakes going 6 furlongs in the main track. We've got a field of 5 after the scratch of number 6, Madicate Road, the morning line favorite number 1. The Wind Machine, Mano Rose from trainer Jeff Mullins, Barn Edwin Maldonado, the regular jockey at Sunland Park to ride in the Sunland Derby today. So that's why you see Mr. Jaramillo in the saddle. Race 8 also begins the $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout. Mr. Baffert still has one horse in here, Pilot Commander. Is that your selection?
It's my best bet of the day. He ran like a short horse last time, and the horse who beat him, for your buddy Jeffrey Sangara, who's a friend of everyone's at the racetrack, great guy,
and supports the game enthusiastically. Has had
always
great
positive.
Success. Has had great success. Beautiful family.
Good guy, man, totally. But Midnight Mammoth has been haunting Bob for quite some time, and that's the funny part about Bob. He's got everything. I mean, he won the spring yesterday. He wants everything, but Midnight Mammoth keeps
Forever young fellow, you're second best.
Sorry,
time in Saudi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect trip.
Have a nice
We're gonna
trip
hug
back.
the rail.
Yeah.
See you later. I'll see you at the 8th pole. But that was a great effort by his horse yesterday, Nice Host.
Yeah, fantastic.
But Pilot Commander, if ever there was a horse that needed a race based on his late strides here, getting nailed, it's this one. I think he's a standout in here. For the record, I did pick against Mano Rose last time on the seminar. He did promptly win by 9. So keep that in mind.
Race number 9, we close out the day and we close out the week going 1 mile on the turf course, $1 super high 5 wagering, allowance optional claiming race, non-winners of 1 other than a good field of 10. Number 4, T'Challa is a first-time gelding. Leonard Powell has 3 runners in here, but the morning line favorite is down on the rail, returning off a layoff. Number 1, on the whim for trainer Dean Pedersen, 5-2 on the morning line. Give us a winner to close it out, Frankie.
Stick to the fence and improve your position. Sorry I didn't give you the Harris Farms winner yesterday at 20-1, but I'll give you one at 5-2 today on the whim. I've said it for years. Dean Pedersen, man's man, totally great trainer, has done so much with so little throughout his career, and he does great with these older horses. On the whim, his last race was a solid performance. How about all 4 to come back out of that race, won their next races? So I like the 1. And then for second, I went to the 6, Baldoro. He loves to finish. Loves to finish second, and he may again. And then Captain Chuchi's, of course, keeps winning, but I think his winning streak is coming to a screeching halt. I like the rail to close things out. Tiago Pereira for Dean Pedersen, and the late, great John Harris's Harris Farms. What a nice card, though. You're not kidding. This is a day if you're right, you're getting paid today.
No doubt about it. We hope you're right, Frankie. Thanks so much for your time and insight today. Throw 9 fastballs today when you call all night.
There might be a couple of knuckleballs out there, but we'll try our best.
Thanks for your time, Frank. Before we let you go, just 2 more reminders. The $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5, we talked about that. Paid $10,000 yesterday for a $1 wager. And what about the Sunset Pick 6? Carryover time, $19,676 in the kitty. That combines the last 3 races at Gulfstream Park with the last 3 races here at San Diego. Make sure you get involved today. Excellent racing, fast and firm conditions. Can't wait for all 9 races to begin. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great afternoon. Enjoy the thoroughbred and the corgi action. We'll see you on Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The Great Race Place. Track conditions are brought to you by John Deere. The track is fast. Turf course firm, rail on the turf at 10 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, scratch number 6, bad reputation. Keep in mind, with Gulfstream's 9th, we start the Sunset 6, $19,676 in the carryover. The Sunset 6 combines the last 3 races from Gulfstream with the last 3 races from Santa Anita Park. There have been many carryovers in this pool. Great wagering opportunity. Race 2 is the start of the early pick 4. No changes. Turning to the third, no scratches or jockey changes. The 4th race starts the $2 pick 6, scratch 3-1 Smokin' Dude. That was a program scratch. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5 and all turf pick 3, number 5 Mall, 1 pound over. Scratch number 9, going nowhere. In the 6th, program scratch of 5, Samran. Turning to race 7, $3 late pick 3 wagering offer, no changes. The 8th is the Palos Verdes Stakes, scratch number 6, Matticat Road, $5 late double offered on the 8th and 9th, and the 9th has super high 5 wagering, no changes. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the opener is in 26 minutes at 12:30. Don't forget the Coast to Coast Pick 5 offered every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It'll start today with Gulfstream's 8th in approximately 1 hour. Great wagering opportunities. The payoffs are well documented. It's the Coast to Coast Pick 5. 26 minutes to post. Have a wonderful afternoon.